Hello everyone, welcome to the very first episode of Blockchain Over Coffee. Blockchain Over Coffee is a new initiative by Women Who Code Blockchain, wherein we bring in industry specialists to talk about their journey and experience in the Web3 and blockchain domain. Today, we'll be having a discussion with Howie Young, who's a founder of Protico, the first Web3 chat platform. The objective of today's discussion would be to address the opportunities and challenges in the Web3 startup domain. Now, I would like to welcome our speaker for today, Howie Young, and he's the founder of Tico, a location-based messaging app, following to be a founder at Protico, a Web3 chatting network. He's a repeat founder with access to over 200 web pages that have been injected with Web3 chats using Protico's product already. He has worked with several communication and chatting projects since 2013, and in the past 8 years, has served users over 100 plus countries already. Welcome, Howie. Thank you for joining us today for the very first episode of Blockchain Over Coffee.
Hi, thank you. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening, and good night. So this is Howie from Protico, and I'm from Taiwan. So yeah, it's my pleasure to share my experience with all of you. So first, I'm having COVID, so I might choke during the session. So please just forgive me. And so about myself, like what have been introduced. So I personally have worked in the communication service for years, since 2013 actually. So basically, I was working on Web2 communication service. I've made a messenger before, and I also work for some Web2 messaging API service. So, and since last December, me and my team, we start working on a new Web3 project. It's a Web3 chatting network called Protico. So it's about to help users can finally have a Web3 tool, a Web3 native tool to communicate with each other across apps, between Web2 apps and Web3 apps. And so far, yeah, we somehow got very good traction. So if you search Web3 chat on Google now, you will see our name, Protico, on the top. And yeah, we are still working on it, and there are lots of challenges we need to conquer. But yeah, I think in the next hour, we can discuss more in the next session. Yeah.
Thank you, Howie, for that amazing introduction. So we'll now be addressing certain questions that we received from our community over the span of last week. So we're really happy to have you here. I have a lot of startup enthusiasts who are looking to start up in the space. So one question that stood out even for me was, how did you come up with the idea of Protico? And what was your initial problem statement for it?
Okay, so thank you. It's a very good question. Actually, my previous company, the product is Tico. So, and that's what I mentioned. We were working on a Web2 messenger. So yeah, and now it's a professional version of it. So we call it Protico. And why we make, how did we come up with this idea is actually that we noticed that there are lots of people, more and more people come to the Web3 world, right? And more Web3 project we heard every day. But no matter how big and how fast the Web3 world grows, actually, we are still using the Web2 chatting service to exchange information and talk with each other, right? So I believe that most of us are still using Messenger, WhatsApp, Telegram, and probably Discord or Twitter to exchange thoughts. So yeah, that's to us, that doesn't make any sense actually, because if we are still using the Web2 apps, which is a centralized service to support the communication for the Web2 apps, then basically there's no any way for us to call, oh, we are really using a Web3 world or experience a Web3 world. So yeah, that's why we think we need to build the infrastructure for the developer and enterprise to build their Web3 chatting service. So that's why we build the Protico. So Protico is actually an infrastructure for developer and companies to build their Web3 chatting app, actually.
Interesting. So one question that arises after this, just a follow-up question. what essentially is the value proposition of having a Web3 chat? Like, how is it different from any Discord or Telegram, as you mentioned?
So yeah, thank you. The main difference between Web2 app, chatting app, and Web3 chatting app is there's very easy to understand, simple. So like if I send you a messages on Telegram, which how can you say that? You have to go to Telegram, right? So if I text you on WhatsApp, you have to leave Telegram and go to WhatsApp. So that's what happened in the Web2 apps, right? So you need to every chatting data and every social connection are like locked in specific chatting apps, and there are boundaries between all the apps, all the chatting apps. So LinkedIn has their data, WhatsApp has their data, Telegram has their data, and there's no any way for the users to switch and like move their and transfer their data across apps. So actually we are kind of how to say that we are stuck in all these apps. But Web3 chat means you can use your wallet to first build your social connection, and then you can use this Web3 social connection to build your Web3 chat. And there's no any boundaries between the apps, because once you use your wallet to log in to any app, then you can directly use all of these chat data and your social connections in any app. So that's the biggest difference for the Web3 chat and the Web2 chat. And the second difference is like we discussed, if I send you messages on WhatsApp, you can only receive it and reply me on WhatsApp, right? But in Web3 chat, actually, it's totally different. Like I can send you messages on WhatsApp, but you can you can reply me on Facebook. That's how it works, because it's the whole database is decentralized. So you don't need to go to specific app to read and reply the messages. And on the other hand, there's what we are doing is a universal chat interface that allows users to always and be accessible and can read and reply messages on any app. So that's the biggest difference, actually.
Interesting. It's like very interesting to even hear about it. So another question that we had was like, what were some of the challenges you faced being an early stage startup with such emerging tech stack requirements?
How to say that? Actually, there's no like difference between have a early stage startup in Web2 or Web3, because early stage startup always have lots of like everything will be a challenge for the startup. Like you have not enough money, you have not enough time to build the things you want to do, right? And you don't have the resource to acquire users. So, and you don't have resource to acquire the talents to join you. So basically, it's kind of having a startup is always having challenges in this kind of fields. Like you need to somehow have your trick to acquire talents with less budget, and you have to acquire users with less budget, and you have to somehow attract investors when you are still early stage, but show them that you have the potential to become the next unicorn. So
I completely agree with you. But like with having technologies like Web3 and blockchain in an early stage startup, I think this adds on to challenges, right? You have such a limited audience that understands what you're actually doing. So like, what was your biggest hurdle where you're implementing all of this?
So basically, because Web3 is still young to many, like to the like currently only 10% of the whole world of the users are migrating to Web3. Like 90% of users are still staying in the Web2 level. So when you are building the Web3 solution, actually you are trying to serve very, very few of the whole population on the earth. So basically, that's kind of the first how to say challenges for to have a Web3 company actually, because the whole market is still young, and you need to somehow first become the market leader in this stage, in this Web3 market, and then there are lots of Web2 giants want to join this game. So you need to really grow as like fast as possible to build your defense when the Web2 giants are still sleeping. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, completely agree. So
Yeah.
since you're a repeat founder and you work extensively with Web3 applications, what's your vision? Like, how do you think will Web3 change business operations?
I think it's kind of about the business operation. Actually, is this is a pretty tough issue, because like about business or company, actually the whole concept of company is kind of a centralized identity, right? So yeah, how will Web3 change the business operation? I think it's about to really to allow or force the companies show more respect to the user's data, because that's kind of the core or the spirit of Web3, right? So only the user really own the data. And if the companies want to use this kind of data, they somehow need to pay lots of things and pay some expense they need to to spend some expense to use this user's data, or when they use users' data, they need to give them some reward. So that's basically what we see in the Web3 market. And yeah, I believe that soon most of the users will have this kind of concept, and to ask you and to try to first avoid the companies using their data without paying them. And then yeah, that's basically what I see from the market actually.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Like, it'll bring a lot of standardization as well in how we implement data. And I think companies will also end up respecting more of their talents. Like with the DAO structure kicking in, I think there's a lot more respect getting in for skill rather than having this traditional hierarchy in workforces.
Yeah,
so I think that definitely that will be a changing point. So
yeah,
how
exactly.
did you go about finding talent when you were building your core team?
Oh, actually, you need to be really lucky, because talent is always like everyone is chasing the talents, right? So it's not just like, oh, I know now I need someone, and boom, there's one just next to you and you can hire him. The things just not work like that. So you need to have a very clear map about your company and the vision, and then to narrow down what kind of people you need at the very beginning, and then from 1 member to 5 member, and then to 10 member. So actually for the we usually said in the very beginning, the first 10 employees can decide the whole DNA of the company. So you need to make sure that you have the core value of your company, and then find 10 people that have the same core value as you to build your team. If the first 10 members don't have the same core value of the company, and then your DNA will just broken, and no matter you are working on Web3 company or Web2 company, it just won't work, because the whole DNA of the company just doesn't fit your core vision. So
yeah, I think definitely like work culture and your shared vision is very important in having the right core team. It can make or break a company, honestly.
Yeah.
So basically, for someone who's looking to do their own startup in the Web3 space, what is one advice that you give them while they're preparing for fundraising?
Actually, the topic is not about there's no any different when you are doing a Web2 startup or Web3 startup, because investors are still they evaluate your company with the same concept, like how good is your product and how how many users you have, like how good is your business. So basically, if you have a really good product and you have lots of users and you have you have a very, very good traction that can show to investor, then you don't need to prepare anything actually, because the investor will just come to you because they can see it from the market. But if your product is not good enough or it's not ready actually, then first, about fundraising, you probably can get your first fundraising from, we always said it's 3F. So your friends and your family and probably some fools, because yeah, they won't check, they won't do the due diligence as much as the investor, right? So, and actually that's what I did for all of my my previous stuff actually. So when I want to start any project, I will always some of my friends said, hey, do you think that this project is good enough, or does it seem like interest to you, or do you want to invest me with this concept? Because if it's your friend and they even don't want to invest you in this concept, then basically, yeah, it's totally a shitty concept. Yeah, so if you can get your fundraising from your 3F, friend, family, and fools, then basically the project probably is not work anymore. But when you finish your 3F round, then you can start to like seeking some investment from the local angels. I believe that most of the in every country there are lots of active angel investors, so you can try to reach out to them and try to raise your first round fundraising. Because fundraising is like there are lots usually there will be many rounds in for different stage startup. So when you are very early stage, then you probably need to engage with angel investor or the early stage investor, and then try to use this this fundraising to build the real product, which means can make you real make money and build a proof of concept. And then if everything just work as you expected and you really run revenue and run the real business, then you can, yeah, I believe that the investor will just come after and the early stage investor, and then, yep, basically that's how the fundraising works in the VC on the VC side actually. So to prepare
yeah, please go ahead.
So to prepare for the fundraising, actually just don't think about prepare for the fundraising, just prepare your product actually, to prepare your business, make sure that it's a good business, then investor will just come to you.
Thank you for walking us through the entire process. But like some of our startup founders, what they face is they find it difficult to find VCs who necessarily understand the technology behind the product and the value proposition. So what advice would you give to what should they incorporate into their pitch deck so that they can approach VCs who necessarily not have a background in the Web3 space again?
Mm-hmm. Hey, sorry. Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, sure. So I was just saying, like, as you walked us through the entire journey of fundraising in the Web3 space, some of our founders face challenges wherein VCs not necessarily understand the tech stack or the core proposition of Web3 as such. So what is one thing that you should incorporate into your pitch deck that would help you like drive through such stages?
So yeah, that's kind of the very common situation currently, because so the whole VC world, they are now is kind of their Web2 VC and Web3 VCs, right? So if you are working on some Web3 project, then basically you just go looking for the Web3 VCs, because you don't want to take money that don't really understand your business. If you take their money and they give you the money, probably it will be a disaster actually. So yeah, just because having fundraising to collect a deal with investor is just like getting married. So you definitely don't want to get married with someone really don't know you, right? So yeah, just don't do it. Yeah, just focus on your business and looking for the investor that really know your business. Yeah, and can help you grow. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the great answer. So a lot of our people are coming from a non-tech background, and so they're seeking recommendation as to how can they locate opportunities that would suit them well, and how do they enter into the space.
Sorry, can you try to repeat your question again?
Yeah, I'll try to rephrase the question. So a few of our community members are coming from a non-technical background.
Yep.
So how do they spot opportunities in the Web3 space again, since it's booming so much and a lot of people are interested in the space again?
Oh, it'll be quite challenging actually, because if you're a non-tech background and basically Web3 is, you probably can start, if you want to build, you want to have a Web3 startup on your own, then first, if you are very lucky or you have lots of money, then you can probably hire engineers and start it, right? But if you have nothing, then probably just join a startup. That will be easier, because from that you can see and learn lots of things that in the Web3 world, because Web3 world is like it changes every day. So the whole pace is very soon and very rapidly. And so if you're a non-tech background, then probably, okay, first, I'm a non-tech background entrepreneur actually, because I studied business administration. So I studied business school when I was in college. But after that, I tried to learn coding by myself. So now I'm tech guy in the team. So you can always, if you're really into something and you want to build it by yourself, then just try to code yourself, because yeah, that's the best way for you to grow and to really act like a star and entrepreneur. Because yeah, you probably will fail in the first couple of times, but you won't always fail. Someday you will get success, and someday you will become a tech guy or a tech woman. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, don't worry about it. Just don't think about I'm a non-tech. Just forget about this kind of concept in your mind. So there's no any non-tech background, because the background is just it's just a thing. But what can really make you different is what you do now at this moment. So you can start coding now, and then when you start write the first code of your by yourself, then you are never a non-tech background person anymore. So
rightly said. Yeah, thank you. Okay, Howie, so would you like to summarize it all and give a little brief about what are some of the opportunities and challenges that people entering into the space now would face ideally?
Sorry?
So could you summarize some of the opportunities and major challenges of a Web3 entrepreneur?
So first, as I mentioned, Web3 is still very young. So anything work today might not work tomorrow. You have to have you have a stronger heart to take these kind of things, because the investor might be, they might interest in you today, but someday, but they probably will change their mind tomorrow, right? So, and that's the first thing. And the second thing is that just don't think that, oh, Web3 is kind of the next thing. So everything needs to go to migrate into Web3, and we need to do it in the Web3 way. Web3 is not just like sorry, it's not definitely better than Web2 actually. Sorry, I always tell my friends, so Web3 is just like building another option for the world. So in the future, people can choose Web2 solution or Web3 solution. So never tell anyone Web3 is definitely better than Web2. Don't make it as any like your core value when you're building your product, because Web3 is just a solution for the users. And what you really need to focus is try to find out what the problem really is and use the correct tool to resolve the problem and make sure that you are building a good product and a good business for the users. And don't think about, oh, it's a Web2 or Web3, because it's not the really problem actually. Though I'm a Web3 entrepreneur now, but I would like to, encourage you, try to not so into Web3, but into build a good product. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I think well said. Agility is definitely something that we all need to have throughout when we are developing something in the emerging tech space. And yeah, it's more about what the technology brings us in terms of value and not the technology in itself. Thank you so much for joining us today. And it was great having you over. We're looking forward to learn more from you.
Okay, thank you so much. It's my pleasure. Yeah, so any questions, everyone can just find me on Twitter or Facebook. So I'm open to share my experience with all of you. Thank you for inviting me to this session.
Everyone for joining in today. We'll see you for the next session with another great speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.